The Michigan Wolverines are having an incredible season, as they are 13-0 and beating teams by an average of 30.2 points per game. Now, they are the favorites to win the national championship, so their dominance has come out of nowhere. Today, we'll break down how Michigan is dominating college basketball by protecting the rim at a high level and utilizing ball movement and their big men to score at a high level inside and outside the three-point line. The biggest reason why Michigan has been so dominant this year is their defense, which is likely the best in the entire nation. Through 13 games, Michigan has an adjusted defensive efficiency of 86.7 according to KenPom, which means the team is allowing just 86.7 points per 100 possessions, adjusted for its strength of schedule. This is a very impressive mark, because the Wolverines are the only team in college basketball with an adjusted defensive efficiency under 90. The team does a lot of things at a very high level on defense. They grab a lot of rebounds, they limit threes, and they don't let teams get to the free throw line very often. However, I think their best trait on this end of the floor is their ability to protect the rim. Against Auburn, there were two plays in which Michigan showcased its ability to make strong rotations and contest shots when its opponents get into the paint. On this play in the first half against Auburn, we're going to see the wing operating in isolation here. He's going to take his man off the dribble right here. And look at this. He's got a nice path to the basket. Get some nice penetration here. He's got some space in the paint. What this drive is going to do is it's going to force the Michigan big man to rotate to try to contest the shot. And he does just that. Gets a nice contest, forces a miss. Here's another play from the first half against Auburn, and this is a lot like the last play that we just looked at. We're going to see the Auburn guard make a pass to the corner, nice catch from the wing. He's going to take his man off the dribble, and like the last play, he gets penetration. He's got some space, he's got a driving lane towards the basket. That's going to force the big man, Adeyemara, to rotate and try to contest the shot. And I absolutely love what Murray does here. He jumps up with his hands held high. He's not swinging his arms down. That's going to allow him to contest the shot without fouling, and he's going to force a miss here. Beautiful play. Michigan allows opponents to shoot at the rim on just 27.1% of their field goal attempts, and they allow opponents to shoot just 44% at the basket. The Wolverines' field goal percentage allowed at the rim is the best in the entire nation. They do an excellent job of deterring teams from shooting around the basket, but when teams do try to score at the rim, they struggle to put the ball in the hoop. Michigan's starting center, Adeyemara, is a huge reason why the team is so good at protecting the rim. The 7'3" big man averages 2.5 blocks per game and sports a block rate of 11.7%. He is one of just 8 high major players with at least 2.5 blocks per game and a block rate of at least 10%. He's not the only one contributing to the block party though. Marez Johnson Jr. and Yaxel Lindeborg both have block rates over 5%, and as a team, Michigan blocks 15.9% of its opponents' 2-point attempts, which is a top 10 mark among high major teams. Sometimes, teams that play really aggressively on defense and hunt for blocks can sometimes have an issue limiting fouls, but that's not the case with Michigan. The Wolverines allow 0.27 free throws per field goal attempt, which is the 27th best mark in the nation. On the screen, you can see a chart that shows how productive each team is at blocking shots and limiting free throws. Michigan is one of the best teams in the country in both of these areas. And Michigan is otherworldly on defense, but its offense isn't that far behind. The Wolverines rank 5th in adjusted offensive efficiency, and the way their offense operates is really unique. One thing that impresses me a lot about Michigan's offense is its ball movement. The team does a great job of getting everyone involved on offense and utilizing off-ball actions like screens to generate easy shots in the paint and outside the three-point line. This is a super cool play from the very beginning of Michigan's game against Gonzaga. This is right off the tip, and we're going to see Michigan do a great job of opening up a wide open shot for their star player, Yaxel Lindeborg. Here's what happens here. So right at the beginning of this action, you're going to see a bunch of these Michigan players act like they're setting screens to get Lindeborg open. You would expect for Lindeborg to come off of these screens, maybe come over to the wing here for an open jumper, but that is not what happens. Look at what happens on this action. We're going to see Lindeborg actually deny those screens. He comes in and shoots right back out to the 3-point line, and now we're going to see this big man right here set a screen, and so Lindeborg is going to get wide open, just not the way that we as viewers or Gonzaga most likely expected. And this screen is going to open him up for a wide open jumper, and he's going to hit it. Here's another play from the first half against Gonzaga. We're getting close to halftime here, and on this play, keep your eye on Yaxel Lindeborg here. He's going to be the focal point of this play. Early on in the action here, we're going to see Michigan do a great job of drawing some Gonzaga defenders away from the paint. Keep your eyes up here. We're going to see this big man set a screen for this guard, but this is a decoy. They're not part of this play. What this does is it draws these defenders away from the paint, and you can see there's a lot of space here in the paint, and Yaxel Lindeborg's going to be there in the post in just a second. Right here, we're going to see the guard swing the ball over to that guy in the corner / wing, and now look at Lindeborg. He is behind this defender in the post. He's got a lot of room to work with here, and what this play is going to do is allow this Michigan player on the wing / corner to throw a pass over that defender's head, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and it gives Michigan a wide open shot at the basket. Michigan does not utilize isolation very much, instead preferring to run actions that get players open off ball. The Wolverines do this at a very high level, which is why they shoot 58.7% on 2s and 42.7% on 3s. They actually rank 3rd in the entire nation in 3-point percentage. The team does not let any single player dominate the ball, and this is clear when you look at its usage rates. No one on the team has a usage rate of 24% or higher, and the team has 5 total players with a usage rate of at least 20%. The Wolverines love to get everyone some shots. On top of this, they are one of the most productive playmaking teams in the nation. Michigan averages 21.2 assists per game, and 62.6% of their field goals are assisted. The team averages the 3rd most assists in the league behind Cornell and Texas A&M. Michigan also loves to use its big men together to generate easy shots at the basket, and we saw the team do this a lot versus Auburn and Gonzaga. Now we're in the second half of this game against Michigan. Michigan is dominating. They're up 30 points here, and this is going to be another nice play where we see Michigan utilize some off-ball movement to get guys open, and here we're going to see some big man to big man action. So at the very beginning of this play, we've got 2 defenders doubling the big man here, and we've got his teammate. He's going to cut right here. Now he's open, and so this big man could hit him with a pass if he were looking, but he's not. He's not looking at that player. He doesn't see him. But what that player's movement does is it's going to clear out this defender that's guarding him. So he's moving all the way to this corner here. That defender's going to go with him. That's going to open up the paint a little bit. And then at the top of the screen, we are going to see this big man set a screen for his teammate to go around to potentially open up that player for a 3-pointer. But look, that is not what they're doing here. That defender's actually not going to set a screen. He slips, and now look at him. He is wide open with that defender trailing behind him. And then the center's going to hit him with a great pass, and that's an open basket for Michigan. Beautiful. Now we're going back to the Auburn game. This is another great example of how Michigan utilizes their big men on offense to create easy shots. At the beginning of this play, we are going to see this guy at the top of the screen come off of a screen from Lindeborg. So he comes off of that screen, the center passes it to him. Now we're going to get a pick And actually, this big man, instead of setting a screen, he's going to slip. And that's going to get him wide open in the paint. And the guard sees that, he hits him. Now look at what happens. Now the Auburn defense is in a really tough spot because this low man in the paint is going to come up to guard the center. That is going to leave this guy in the dunker spot wide open. And luckily, the center is going to notice that. He dumps the ball off, and that is an easy basket at the rim. The Wolverines are extremely efficient when utilizing big men on offense. The chart you're looking at on the screen right now shows how often Michigan utilizes each play type, and above each bar, you can see how many points per possession the Wolverines score utilizing each play type. Their most efficient play type, relative to how the rest of the country performs, is high-low. These are plays in which two bigs connect for a shot at the rim. Michigan scores 1.19 points per possession on these plays, which ranks in the 99.5th percentile. That's insane efficiency. Michigan also ranks above the 97th percentile in efficiency on plays like when bigs cut and roll, post-ups, and plays in which a frontcourt player is doubled and kicks the ball out to an open shooter. This team is elite at utilizing their bigs on both ends of the floor. When you look at Michigan's statistical profile, it's natural to ask, how good is this team historically? Well, it turns out they're pretty fantastic. KenPom's data goes back to the 2002 season, and Michigan's adjusted net rating is only bested by 2025 Duke, which had an adjusted net rating of 39.29. The Wolverines' average margin of victory of 30.2 points also appears to be the best ever. I've had trouble finding historical margin of victory data, but based on my research, it looks like the team with the closest average margin of victory to this Michigan team is 1967 UCLA, which beat its opponents by an average of 23.8 points per game. Obviously, the season is far from over, but the numbers make it clear that we are witnessing greatness. On top of this, the individual performances we're seeing from Michigan's players is insane. Yaxo Lindeborg specifically is having one of the best seasons we've ever seen, and I don't say this lightly. Lindeborg is a do-it-all wing who's shooting 77.2% on twos and 37.3% on threes, while averaging 3.4 assists and 7 rebounds per game, and sporting a stock, which is steals plus blocks, rate of 8.6%. Lindeborg does everything well. He is a hyper-efficient scorer who puts the ball in the basket at a high level from all over the floor, and on top of this, he is an extremely active defender who crashes the glass and racks up steals and blocks at a very high rate. His production has been so good across the board that he has a box plus minus of 20.6, and this means that based on his production, he is estimated to be worth 20.6 points per 100 possessions. This is the highest box plus minus in the history of college basketball. The only other player to ever have a BPM of 20 plus in a single season was Zion Williamson, who had one of the best freshman seasons of all time. Lindeborg is not the only player on the team playing at a very high level. Michigan has 6 players with a box plus minus of 10 plus, and all of their players who get serious playing time have a box plus minus of at least 8. This is crazy, because a BPM of 8 means you are having a great season, and having this many high-level players on one roster is unbelievable. Simply put, the Michigan Wolverines are having a historically good season, and they are crushing teams on both ends of the floor. I love watching them play, because they have a unique style on offense, while also being dominant on defense. We are just now entering conference play, but this team appears to be on track to win a national championship, and cement its place as one of the best teams ever.